If only I'd known at the start of my vacation what I learned after seeing Jessica's jewels. This was no ordinary getaway. My dream vacation began, all thanks to Jessica's legendary gemstone collection. But then, boom, a real, honest-to-goodness, earth-shaking explosion. I was supposed to be on a gemstone mining expedition for research, or maybe just for the gram. Instead, I woke up face down in pink sand that actually sparkled. I pushed myself up, my bones groaning a rock and roll protest. The sun was beating down, but everything around me was glowing. Huge, colorful crystals jutted out of the ground like giant psychedelic teeth. It was a tropical paradise, if that paradise was designed by a unicorn who won the lottery. I was totally, completely, epically stranded. My gear was gone, my satellite phone probably at the bottom of the ocean, trying to get a signal. All I had were my slightly singed cargo shorts and a killer desire for a burrito. I stood up and wobbled, taking in the scene. Palm trees with what looked like quartz coconuts lined the beach. The water was so clear I could see fish with what looked like tiny amethyst scales swimming around. It was beautiful, sure, but also super weird. I yelled, "Hello? Is anybody out there?" My voice echoed back, but it sounded different. It sounded shinier, if that makes any sense at all. Suddenly, a soft, warm breeze, carrying the scent of lavender and good vibes, washed over me. I felt a strange urge to meditate and forgive my enemies. It was a calming feeling, but also deeply unsettling. Where was this peace and love scent coming from? I looked around, trying to find the source. Was there a hidden spa somewhere? Maybe I'd stumbled onto a yoga retreat. That would be cool, I guess. At least they'd have snacks. But no, there was nothing but sand, trees, and these massive, humming crystals. That's when I heard it. A gentle, humming voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once.
Breathe in the positive energy, my friend. Let the island's aura cleanse your chakras. I spun around, looking for the source of this groovy mumbo-jumbo. There was no one there, just a massive pale pink crystal the size of a van, pulsing with a soft, gentle light. I blinked. Did that rock just talk to me? I must have hit my head harder than I thought. This was going to be a very, very strange trip. So, there I was on my so-called vacation, tiptoeing up to this giant pink rock. Did you just say something about my chakras? I asked, feeling like the weirdest tourist ever.
The crystal pulsed with a warm, inviting glow. Indeed, weary traveler, I am Rose Quartz. Welcome to our sanctuary of serenity, she greeted me. Her voice was like a calming wail, song mixed with the sound of a wind chime. Definitely not your average vacation soundtrack.
No time for serenity, time for action. What's your 5-year plan? Let's crush those goals. Go, go, go.
Then came Citrine. My vacation had just turned into a motivational seminar. He was basically a life coach in mineral form, shouting slogans like a drill sergeant on a sugar high. He was so bright I had to squint.
Could you two be any brighter? The relentless cheerfulness on this island is, so fake. It's giving me a migraine.
So this was my vacation crew. Rose Quartz, the cosmic hippie who wanted to group hug it out. Citrine, the caffeinated go-getter who wanted to optimize my survival synergy. And Obsidian, the goth kid who probably wrote bad poetry about how everything is meaningless. Rose Quartz tried to get us all to join hands for a circle of connection, but Obsidian just sighed dramatically. Citrine started yelling about leveraging our core competencies to achieve our escape objectives. Meanwhile, all I wanted was a sandwich, a simple, non-talking sandwich. Each of them had skills, I guess. Rose Quartz could heal my cuts and scrapes with her calming vibes, which was actually pretty handy for a vacation gone wild. Citrine was a master strategist, even if his plans were always shouted at maximum volume. And Obsidian, well, he was super sharp, literally. His edges could cut through the thickest vines like butter. I realized that if I was ever going to get off this rock-filled rock and finish my vacation, I'd need the help of these rockheads. This was my band now. The Crystal Methodists. The Rolling Gemstones. Okay, I'd workshop the name later.
If you ever think your vacation is going to be relaxing, try wrangling a bunch of sentient gemstones on a deserted island. That was my reality. My grand plan? Build a raft and get out of there. So I gathered my sparkly crew and laid it all out for them. Rose Quartz, ever the optimist, wanted us to sit in a circle and manifest the raft into existence. If we believe in the raft will believe in us, she hummed, as if that was a normal thing to say on vacation. I tried to explain that we needed to actually build it, not just wish for it. She patted my arm, told me my aura was a little stabby today, and handed me essential oils. Spoiler, they didn't help. Citrine, on the other hand, was all about action. He whipped out a giant leaf covered in a 100-step plan, complete with synergy charts and motivational milestones. I was overwhelmed just looking at it. Step 1, visualize success, he shouted, waving a sign in my face. Step 2, assemble the Tiger Team. Suddenly, I was part of a motivational seminar instead of a vacation. Step 3, harness your inner power core to smash expectations, he bellowed at sunrise, 2 inches from my face. I was awake, all right. That kind of energy at 5 in the morning is both motivating and terrifying. He even tried to get me to do trust falls with a pile of smaller silent crystals. I didn't trust them. They were literally rocks. I kept thinking, this is not how I pictured my beach getaway. Then there was Obsidian. He complained about everything. A raft? So cliché. Why not just accept the beautiful emptiness of our existence here? He'd grumble, staring out at the endless ocean. But when I needed to cut vines for rope, he'd sigh, mutter, fine, whatever, and slice through them like butter. I have to admit, he was useful. Of course, he complained the whole time. This sun is obnoxiously bright. The color of this vine is disgustingly green. Existence is a meaningless charade. Classic Obsidian. Still, he got the job done. And somehow, so did we. Progress was slow and awkward, but Citrine's hyper-planning actually gave us a decent structure for the raft. Rose Quartz's calming presence kept me from losing my mind, and her weird crystal healing tricks even fixed the splinters I picked up along the way. Obsidian, the grumpy king of darkness, became our main tool. Saw, knife, and chief complainer all rolled into one. So there I was, on my vacation, building a raft out of driftwood and crystal shards, psychoanalyzed, motivated, and judged by my geological companions. Not exactly the getaway I'd imagined, but definitely one I'll never forget.
Finally, it was done. A magnificent, slightly wobbly raft made of wood vines and glowing crystal panels. It looked like something a wizard would build after a wild weekend in Vegas.
Citrine was practically vibrating with pride. We did it! We actualized our goal! High five the achievement!
He tried to high-five me, but he's a giant crystal, so I just sort of patted his side awkwardly.
Rose Quartz gathered us for one last group hug.
Even Obsidian shuffled in, grumbling. This is emotionally manipulative, but fine. It was almost sweet.
As I prepared to push the raft into the water, they stopped me.
Wait, traveler. We cannot let you leave empty-handed. We have a farewell gift for you.
They all stepped aside to reveal a massive glittering rock. It was the size of a mini fridge and sparkled with every color of the rainbow. It was intensely shiny and looked incredibly heavy.
It's a manifestation of our collective friendship.
It's utterly useless, Obsidian muttered, a perfect symbol of our fleeting, pointless time together.
What was I supposed to do? Say no? It took all my strength, but I managed to heave the giant sparkly paperweight onto the raft where it sat like a disco ball of doom. I waved a final goodbye to my weird crystal friends on the shore. I pushed off, the waves carrying me out to sea. Freedom at last, just me, the open ocean and the gentle lapping of the waves. It was peaceful for about 12 seconds. Then a new voice piped up from the raft behind me. It was loud, it was obnoxious, it was the gift.
Hey, mister, are we there yet? I'm bored. This water is so wet. My facets aren't sparkling at the optimal angle. Can you paddle faster? Your paddling technique is inefficient. Let's circle back and create a strategy for optimal velocity.
I groaned, slumping over my paddle. I had escaped the island of quirky crystals, only to be stuck on a tiny raft with their loudest, most annoying offspring. This was going to be a long, long trip. A very long, very sparkly, very loud trip.
And so, as I drifted away with my noisy, glittering souvenir, I couldn't help but think of Jessica's jewels, each one with its own story, sparkle, and personality, just like the friends I made on that wild island. That's how my vacation adventure ended, surviving the island of quirky crystals and bringing home a memory as bright and loud as Jessica's favorite jewels. Until my next journey, may your own adventures be just as sparkly.